Hello and a very warm welcome to the Life's Good. My name is AJ, I live in the northeast of England and this is my channel. Today I want to discuss with you the C word. I'll take you outside and show you exactly what I mean. How many of you have one of these? Do you use it? This is my compost bin and we put all sorts of materials in here and we use the composted material to improve the soil on our plot. I'll just nip you back in the kitchen because that's where our process begins. We try to compost as much materials or waste materials from our home as possible in order to provide us with a rich, nutritious soil improver that we can spread on our garden to benefit the growing of our fruit and vegetables. The compost we produce from that compost bin in the garden, that plastic Dalek shaped bin, I do not use as a growing medium in so much as I don't use it in seed trays. It's not fine enough for that. It has all sorts of bits and pieces in it, but it's absolutely ideal to spread on the garden, on the ground, around my fruit bushes, my rhubarb, on top of my no-dig beds. Anywhere where I need to improve the soil, I can use the composted material from that bin. But the whole thing starts here in the kitchen. As I said, we try and compost as much as we can. There are a numerous amount of materials that you can put through those bins, and I find, talking to my friends and family, a lot of people do not realise exactly what you can actually put in that bin to compost down to produce your soil improver. All of the vegetable waste from our kitchen, peelings, cores, whatever. When you're preparing your dinner, your sandwiches, your salads, whatever you're doing in the home, food-wise, if it's a compostable material, food waste from fruit, vegetables, that sort of thing, can go in that bin. Now, if I just show you this, we have this. I think it came from a bargain supermarket of some description, and it is a small kitchen compost bin. It's got a handle to carry it, it's got a hinged lid, and inside it has a removable inner which you just lift out, and you can carry this if you wish to your compost heap and empty it, or you can carry it inside the main body of the thing. But this is ideal. Any container, anything you like, an old sweet tin, biscuit tin, plastic preferably because the tins tend to rust or go a bit nasty. The plastic ones can be cleaned easy. But any container, ideally with a lid on, you can use in your kitchen to collect together all of the waste that you want to put in that compost bin. As I said, a lot of people don't realise what they can actually put in there. Now then, we put in eggshells. Now I do crush them, and I have baked them before. We do actually add some what we call egg over to Daisy's food, where I bake a few eggs in the oven, just dry them off, crush them in the pestle and mortar, sprinkle them on her food, and it's an extra source of calcium for her egg production. But if you crush them up and put them in your little bin, they are great in your compost. So your eggs can go in, or eggshells I should say. I've got some foliage from, that's a bay leaf actually, that we had as a decoration on dinner last night. It was only as a decoration, it's no good now to me. That will go in the compost bin. Tea bags, ideal. Do not put in the ones, very often with herbal teas, they have like a nylon bag or a plasticized bag, not suitable to go in the compost. However, if you snip the end off and empty the contents into there, that's fine. Tea bags, they can go in. All the peelings, as I said, these are some potato peelings, some sweet potato peelings, all of that goes in. The offcuts from your lettuce, your cabbage, your broccoli. Or incidentally with broccoli as well, you get a stalk or a big thick stem on broccoli, especially if you bought it from the shops. What I do with that is I actually cut it into small pieces before I put it in the compost bin. Whilst you're preparing your dinner, you take all the broccoli heads off, just chop up that stalk into small pieces, it goes in the bin. Household tissue, these kitchen tissues, you use one to wipe something. Where do you put it? Do you put it straight into your landfill bin? They can go in the compost bin. I put them in my compost bin. Egg cartons, the paper type cartons. Do you throw them into the recycle bin? Do you put them in the landfill? I put mine in my compost. Just break them up into small pieces and in they go. It doesn't take long and they break down, they rot down in that compost bin and help add fibre to the compost. Loo roll inners. Do you throw yours out? Do you put it in the recycle? What do you do with these? You can use them, they are useful. You can use them to grow seeds in, plant seeds in as a little planter. But don't throw them into the landfill. They can go in your compost. So just tear it apart, pull it apart and break it into pieces. Simple as that. Tear it up, put it in the compost. Do you get a lot of junk mail? We do. And if it's not too glossy, if it's not too plasticky and it doesn't have plastics in, some envelopes have a plastic window. Don't use those. But we shred lots of junk mail, letters and other information that comes through our letterbox. We get quite a lot of it. The shredded paper, and you don't want plastic and you don't want staples and paper clips in there, just the paper can go in your compost bin. Don't put it in as a big clump, spread it around, mix it in, but it will decompose and add fibre to your compost. There's so many things that people throw away that goes to landfill or other places. I wouldn't like to say where, but there's a lot of things we throw away that can be used to make garden compost, soil improver for your garden. A little bit of thought, guys. We have a rabbit sitting under the bench here in a cage, and his bedding, hay, straw, and an organic sort of litter tray material, all of that goes in our compost bin. Daisy's bedding from her nest box goes in the compost bin. All of the weeds we find in the garden, we pull out, put them in the compost bin. When we're harvesting the rhubarb, we lop the leaves off the stems, the leaves go in the compost bin. Everything I prune and tidy in the garden goes into the compost bin. And over a period of time, that rots down. Now we'll go back outside and I'll show you the situation with my bin at the moment. I'm just going to remove the lid so you can see that inside here, this bin is rather full. And we do create quite a lot of compostable material, which we like to put in here. However, this one's now pretty full. The idea of these is that you put everything in the top and it rots down through. And at the bottom there's a little door that you can open and you can scoop the material out. It's a bit of a tight squeeze in here, everyone, but what I'm going to do, this little door at the bottom here is held in place by 3 screws. I've already removed them. They're just little tiny stainless steel screws. But if I just now ease that up, there, you can see it on here actually. That is the type of material that comes out of the bottom of this bin. It's absolutely incredible. There's all sorts in here. It's very loose, very fibrous, absolutely perfect to put on the ground, as I said, around your plants, on your no-dig beds, anywhere. I've actually before emptied the entire bottom of this and put it in containers to grow my runner beans in. But this material that comes out of the bottom of this compost bin is fantastic. A little bit of thought about what you do with all your waste materials. Pretty much everything can go through this bin, and what comes out of the bottom is absolute gold dust. I've taken about a wheelbarrow full of the compost out of the bottom of that bin, and as you can see, it is extremely well rotted. It's not sloppy and wet, it doesn't smell, it's quite fibrous, it's full of all sorts of bits and pieces, and it's fantastic to put on the ground to improve my no-dig beds for growing fruit and vegetables. You could put it on any bed you like. Anywhere you need to improve the soil, this stuff is amazing. Now, if I do find anything that's a bit lumpy, a little bit firm, and you see there's a piece of plastic there, I don't want that. I can take that out. But if you find anything that's not fully rotted and not quite suitable to go on the ground, just pop it back in the top of the bin and let it go through again. And then eventually it will rot down and go back into your ground, back onto your soil. This is free to produce, requires a little bit of effort, or little or no effort, and is the best product that you can put on your ground to improve the quality of your soil. The only thing that I would add to all of that is a word of caution in respect of what you put in your bin. Do not put cooked food or meat products in your bin. You will attract rats and other vermin and can cause your bin to smell rather badly, and you will not be popular with your neighbours. So it's all the organic vegetable matter and fibrous materials like the paper and cardboard and so on. And this, in my arms, you may have noticed, is Bob, and he lives underneath the bar in the kitchen here. He's a little bit old now, bless him. You're about 11 years old, Bob. He's an old man. But his bedding and other bits and pieces from his cage all go in the compost bin. Well, that's it for today. I hope you found that useful and interesting. Please make any comments and ask any questions that you feel you need to. And if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. There is a little button in the corner of the screen, or at least there should be, that you can tap. Otherwise, the usual YouTube buttons to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and ring the bell for future notifications. And we'll see you again soon in the Life's Good. Bye-bye for now. You want to go back in your bed? Do you? You're quite happy having a cuddle? Okay. Bless you.